Hey guys, welcome back to a new review and a new segment, my classics reviews on Troy's Takes, movie reviews, where I look back at my childhood classics of the 80s and 90s. Those included Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future, The Goonies, Ninja Turtles, and many more. But on this segment, this review, it's a double bill of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey, where I just rewatched it as they're ramping up for Bill and Ted's Face to Music. And looking back at these movies from the 80s and the 90s, really hit home. They still stand up and make it most excellent, as Bill and Ted would say. Um, and we get introduced to Keanu Reeves as Ted Theodore Logan, and Alex Winter as Bill S. Preston Esquire. And we also get introduced to George Carlin, the late George Carlin, as Rufus. Anyways, the whole premise is about them going back in time to collect historical figures to pass their high school historical test, or Ted goes to military school because his father doesn't like him messing around and hanging out with Bill. So amongst this, they take out their history book. One time they're at the Circle K market, convenience store. They meet Rufus for the first time. And he comes through this telephone booth that comes out of nowhere that's shooting electricity and so on and so forth. And he tells them that they can go back in time and pass their class. And, the comedy hits, the character development is spot on. Both principal actors and secondary and supporting actors. It's funny from beginning to end. It's colorful from the 80s. The 80s music also stands out throughout the riffs that go throughout it. And I, once again, even though back in the day I thought was completely awesome, I was blown out of my mind by these two high school dudes going through time travel to pass their class and making it cool. And they're also trying to get their band together, Wild Stallions. And along the way, they meet their love interests. And it just makes it a very well thought out movie, once again. Now, with Bogus Journey, that completely goes out the other end. But my score for Excellent Adventure is 5 out of 5 stars, I give it. Bogus Journey, okay, let's get into it. Um, Several years later, we meet Bill and Ted again, and they're married to, or they have their girlfriends from the past, the medieval time in the first one. And then they get skewed by one of Rufus's older friends, or, well, so-called friend, um, Chuck Nomalis, and he sends to the current timeline evil Bill and Ted to ruin everything about Bill and Ted. And eventually, evil Bill and Ted kill Bill and Ted. And it kind of reminded me, the set deck and so on and so forth, kind of reminded me of Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. So there was influence definitely from Beetlejuice. So that was a thing. And anyways, they have to try and figure out how to undie and save their love interests and make their music for the Wild Stallions. So once again, it's fairly a tight story. And after they go through their death phase, they meet Death himself, and they have to challenge him to get out of hell, essentially, and save their love interests, and save their lives, essentially. And it slowly unravels. It takes a few deep breaths along the way. The character development is another way. They have grown up some, and they just have to figure out what the heck's going on. And then they ask Death for help for a smart person to help them. And God in heaven helps them, essentially. And he sends them forth to find these station guys, these hairy, like, biped beings that don't talk in the English language. Well, they do, but it's faint. And Station helps Bill and Ted build a good Bill and Ted, which the bad Bill and Ted, the evil ones, are androids, are artificial intelligence. So Station helps them build a good version of themselves, and they go to Home Depot and whatnot and get parts to build a good version of themselves to defeat the evil selves. Also, Rufus helps them without them really knowing it. And isn't so much a time travel movie, it's more of a redemption of sorts type of movie for them. And the performances, once again, are good by far, and not totally as solid as the first one, but fairly solid I would give it 4.5 out of 5. And it just makes it that much. They're both seminal movies in my childhood, and I look forward to Face the Music as they have evolved. We know Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves have evolved, but the direction they're going in this new one. So, anyways, guys and gals, if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you can. It helps me, and it helps spread the world to the YouTube world for me. And leave me a comment down below. And I'll catch you guys and gals on the next one. Stay safe. Take care. And bye for now.